dollar profit, sir. The resources to afford the tools probably are better within your capacity than you are willing to admit. Okay, this song's called Mullet by Rebel Mahari. We're still talking on the phone with Samsung, who is still not explaining to me where the charger is and or why the supervisor's not on the phone. But at the same time, kudos to GE for deciding to build a factory out in Welland, which will hopefully improve the quality of the economy if they start building some of the solar panels that should be going on these colleges and universities and schools, which are middle, high, and elementary. Black Talks episode 87, ladies and gentlemen. Wifingers in the studio.
What up? It's BLNK. It's Blank with
Talk kid, talk dick, no buts about it. Chillin', hitting blunts, no rush about it. No holds barred, I flow so hard. Put a GoPro in the car and make your whole star. Fofo on guard, no mask, no SARS. You don't know my squad, clap back like Ja. Oh, stand, I'm Ja. Praise be to the Lord. Never worked in the trap, but ain't seen the shit from afar. So I don't yak, never talk to the law. I know people that strap, not trying to see them behind bars. I know girls with ass, type you never saw. Where every time it clap, it still drop my jaw. Give that a snap, straight down on the floor. Hit that from the back, no beef no more. Get back to the bonsai, that fresh tree in the jar. If thou shalt protest, may it only get thee so far. Me and my team rock hard, you would think I had a mullet.
Number 289-501.
And if you get in drunk with the squad, you better drink like someone with a mullet. Handle business up front, then party hard in the back, like a mullet. Me and my team rock hard, you would think I had a mullet. Fades, flat tops, maybe single braids with high tops. Begging for days, never worked at 8 or IHOPs. Scars on my face, but nigga, this is still my block. Been home like Flintstones, all I got is bedrocks. Plus my set's hot, been known to make these heads pop. It's like watching Cop and Dome, I love to see her knees drop. Heart pumping like Reeboks, every time I see cops. The queen on my money, a fiend, all she do was see rocks. All my niggas real, all you niggas see rocks. Business in the front, party in the back, always been a heat spot. Till bitches whistle up like a teapot. I see them through the C-rock, drawers falling off like a cheap watch. Me and my team rock hard, you would think I had a mullet. And if you getting drunk with the squad, you better drink like someone with a mullet. Handle business up front, then party hard in the back, like a mullet. Me and my team rock hard, you would think I had a mullet. Nigga, bring it up, ceiling in the cut. Nigga, go ahead and cut, yup.
For that, sir, that's why our manager will be the one who will give you that information if they can find on their tools.
Okay, so why do I have to wait for the manager to call me back again?
Number one, because you request for a manager, right?
Yes, I request to speak to a manager now while I'm on the phone with you
right.
because your capacity to
that's the reason why.
facilitate the services required and detailed within your contract have not been fulfilled. And when efforts were made to fulfill your contractual obligations or our consumer obligations through the contract, you were calling us back and hanging up the phone, as well as telling us that you don't have the information we forwarded. But the problem that I have with that is the CCTS says that Win Mobile has provided all of the services possible where it comes to their responsibilities as well. So if you haven't received the information to replace something that there's an issue with or a malfunction with, and Wind is responsible for transmitting that information, that means both of you are actually responsible for providing services you have yet to render and are just attempting to delay any resolution by making new policies. You just don't want to do what I'm asking you to do, right? Even though it's your responsibility to fulfill reasonable consumer requests, which is part of the reason why you've been before the CCT. You've been brought to the CCTS. You've been brought to the CRTC. You've been brought to the Competition Bureau. You've been brought to the Minister of Industry. So I'm going to go back and play music by EU a Fool while you get your supervisor on the phone.
John, there is no 21st century. Get over it. Mind at the top of the Himalayas. I can't be stopped, I'm an innovator. Divine is my process, I'm the creator. So mine and my thoughts, they just drift away now. My grind is not about getting paper. Why should it cost me to be evader? I do not do this, it's just a favor. Climbing on top, not my situation. Third eye never locked down, it's really spacious. Was blind but I'm not, now I'm feeling gracious. There's violence and cops and they get invasive. The silence of thoughts will eliminate it. Dark night, it's my time to intimidate him. Been rising since mom was inseminated. Been rhyming since 90s, got in my face with it. Been shining a lot since the day he left. Still smiling a lot, not an atheist. But honestly, I am not atheist. I am God, I don't gotta believe in it. You are God, you don't gotta believe in it. I design my environment and I'm within it. Alive and I'm living the light and the prison. Only through dialogue we find division. So I wrote my mind out to find myself in it. Mind at the top of the Himalayas. I can't be stopped, I'm an innovator. Divine is my process, I'm the creator. So mine are my thoughts that just drift away now. My grind is not about getting paper. Why should it cost me to be evader? I do not do this, it's just a favor. Climbing on top, not my situation. Third eye never locked down, it's really spacious. Was blind but I'm not, now I'm feeling gracious. There's violence and cops and they get invasive. The silence of thoughts will eliminate it. Dark night, it's my time to intimidate him. Been rising since mom was inseminated. Been rhyming since 90s, got in my face with it. Been shining a lot since the day he left. Still smiling a lot, not an atheist. But honestly, I am not atheist. I am God, I don't gotta believe in it. You are God, you don't gotta believe in it. I design my environment and I'm within it. Alive and I'm living a light and a prism. Only through dialogue we find division. So I write my mind down to find myself in it. Mind at the top of the Himalayas. I can't be stopped, I'm an innovator. Divine is my process, I'm the creator. So mine and my thoughts, they just drift away now. My grind is not about getting paper. Why should it cost me to be my savior? I do not do this, it's just a favor. Climbing on top, not my situation. Third eye never locked down, it's really spacious. Was blind but I'm not, now I'm feeling gracious. There's trials and plots and they get invasive. But silence of thought will eliminate it. Dark night, it's my time to intimidate it. Been rising since mom was inseminated. Been rhyming since 90s, got in my face with it. Been shining a lot since the day he left. So smiling a lot, not an atheist. But honestly, I am not atheist. I am God, I don't gotta believe in it. You are God, you don't gotta believe in it. I design my environment and I'm within it. Alive and I'm living the light and the prism. Only through dialogue we find division. So I wrap my mind out to find myself in it. Alive and I'm living the light and the prism. Only through dialogue we find division. So I wrap my mind out to find myself in it. Alive and I'm living the light and the prism. Only through dialogue we find division. So I wrote my mind out to find myself in it. Alive and I'm living the light and the prism. Only through dialogue we find division. So I write my mind out to find myself in it.
To say something, I can stop now.
Alive and I'm living the light and the prism. Only through dialogue we find division.
Go ahead, David.
To find myself in it.
I didn't get your name, sir.
I did say Roberto.
Roberto, right. I should have said Alomar. I said Alvarez, right?
Yes, you say Alvarez.
Alvarez. Roberto Alvarez. Is that your name? Okay, well, Roberto, it's Samsung. I'm trying to understand something involving your responsibilities here, sir.
I understand that, sir. Responsibility is also part of, if you are limited, then connect directly to the person that can do better or that can do the best. If they do have a limitation, you can refer to the person that is able to do something which is greater.
Reminiscent of the conversation I'm having with you right now. Three different cell phone manufacturers. The only companies that were actually willing to take consideration for certain things but indicated your corporation had more control over the resources was BlackBerry and Motorola. So between Apple and Samsung, you had the greater control over the mineral deposits globally required to make such proficient technologies, right? Okay, fine. I get that. No, I know exactly what I'm talking about because your devices work different than a lot of the other devices that I've worked with. And trust me, if you had actually done your research on me, you'd realize I've worked with a lot of devices and technology. See, I had to do my research on you. That's why I keep repeating that you make as much money in profit as my country is in debt. 7 trillion and counting. So please explain to me, sir, why it is that my wife emailed you the invoice, bill of sale picture of the charger, and you are now denying that you received it. Meanwhile, the Commissioner for Complaints of Telecommunications Services and the CRTC, who you are in contract to actually do business with and or through, are indicating that our services are being provided up to a quality standard. Bare minimum, bar none. If there's information exchange between a consumer and a corporation, it should be between at least the manufacturer of the device, who has a remote access to it because of a legislation that's recently been passed, and the telecommunications service provider, unless they are working in conjunction with each other to disprove any legitimate allegations or any legitimate claims the consumer has. Half an hour's up. Your supervisor could have been on the phone. This is Block Talks episode 73, where we're not bitching, we're beefing with the industry of technology.
I understand that, sir. Respond. That's why I'm helping you out in order for us to save the time and in order for me to make sure that my supervisor will be the one who will contact you.
We just went through a 6-month ordeal with the aforementioned representatives of technological enforcement.
Sir, I'm sorry, David. I'm speaking and you listen for 3 to 4 minutes. I listen patiently without interruption, sir. But you're always interrupting to me.
No, sir, you're choosing when you want to talk and try to make me the bad guy because I've already shamed you in front of whoever's listening right now.
Sir, please, David. I'm not. Don't please put words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying that you're a bad guy. Did I say that?
Industry and organization, sir.
Sir? Did I say that you are a bad guy, that I'm putting you as a bad guy?
That's exactly what you're doing with your phrasing, sir. I might not have the emotional stability you would justify as a professional, but my understanding of your diction, your vocabulary, and your temperament right now kind of indicate that you are trying to make it seem as if I am being more abrasive than required. However, had within the hour and 5 minutes we've been on the phone, you got the supervisor, tried to trace the email that was sent to you through the email address that I forwarded to you recently or earlier in this conversation, we'd be somewhere forward if you had the tracking number of the item that was requested within the warranty period that should have been shipped out last Thursday, technically by your capacities as an organization. And again, we're just looking at the fact that with the technologies that you manufacture in conjunction with other organizations and other industries in communications, that you propagate the stigma and stereotype of privilege only being fulfilled when you acquire these devices, but then still can't even address some of the issues that arise from them without them being replaced. So, again.
Okay, I can now speak, sir.
Yes, you
David, please don't, or please report without being bad.
Hey, let's about the
never think of that.
Let's talk about the warranty obligations. Let's talk about
David,
the trillions of dollars.
Please listen. I'm not finished yet. Okay. Let me speak for 2 minutes without interrupting you.
We've been a half an hour in.
We cannot. Yes, even 1 hour. I can wait for you to speak, but I will not be able to show you the information or anything if you will continue interrupting me. Because if you will continue interrupting me,